Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I've got some more rumors today. Woke up and read basically the Eurogamer story and some other info. Actually, the other info may have came last night. But I've heard a few things, so I thought I wanted to come in and talk about it. One that I'm really excited about is I've heard that Nintendo has re-registered the trademark for Wave Race, which is one of my favorite games, especially on the GameCube. Well, on the N64 too. I really loved the water in Wave Race 64. I remember being blown away by it. It makes me think of that meme about that guy on Miiverse that always comments on the water. But really, the water in the Nintendo 64 Wave Race was just awesome. The physics of it, everything was great. It really reacted to how you were racing through it. I thought that was great, and I thought they really brought it to the next level in the GameCube version as well, which is a game that I played fairly recently actually, and it holds up pretty well. I mean, the graphics aren't what I remember them as. It's not like Rogue Squadron, which really still holds up quite well. I played that actually last week, and my girlfriend, I was showing my nephew, and my girlfriend was like, "Wow, these graphics are really good," and you couldn't believe that the game was, I don't know, when did that come out? 2003 or something like that? Maybe no, 2001. I can't remember when the GameCube came out, but anyway, a lot of those graphics are still holding up. So the fact that they're bringing back Wave Race potentially really has me excited. I think they can do some crazy things with that. Maybe some less traditional levels, some stuff that's a little more crazy, or maybe they just stick with the formula that's worked so far. But I'm very excited to get that game back. Another thing that was released, obviously, the Eurogamer report was that Pokemon Sun and Moon will have its own iteration on the Switch, which I think is awesome, even though I have Sun and Moon on delivery right now. It'll have updated resolution. The assets will be updated, but everything else will kind of remain the same. So the map layouts, the overall game will be the same, although there may be some additional Pokemon, is what's being said, or maybe some additional story parts. I do imagine, like most ports that seem to be rumored to come to the Switch, they're also rumored to have a lot of additional content. So hopefully that's the case. Give people to dive back in pretty much a year later. It doesn't sound like it's going to be a launch title. It sounds like it's probably going to be summer or maybe a little bit after that. But still, that's huge that the Switch is getting a Pokemon game. People who maybe don't, not that there's going to be many of them, Pokemon fans who maybe skip Pokemon Sun and Moon for 3DS or maybe couldn't get it right away might hold out for the Switch version. And if there's enough additional content, I do think that people will jump back in for the Switch version of it, which is rumored to be called Stars. I predicted it might be called Eclipse if it happened, and a few other people I think came up with that. Excuse me, came up with that name as well. Um, so either way, Stars is still good. They both relate very well. So excited about that for sure. Maybe after a year, if I manage to get through Sun or Moon before then, I'll go through that as well. Additionally, there was another thing that was kind of rumored, and that is a Rayman Rabbids and Super Mario RPG. Now, I don't know if it's Super Mario RPG or just a Super Mario RPG with the Rabbids. Uh, Somebody mentioned, and it could have been a joke on Twitter, like Super Mario RPG Invasion of the Rabbids. I think that'd be interesting. I think the comedy aspect that those Rabbids tend to bring, they're very minion like, in my opinion. I think that fits in very well to the type of comic relief you tend to see in a Paper Mario style game. Although I don't think it'll be a Paper Mario. I don't feel like they lend themselves well to the paper environment. So I do think it'll be more of a Super Mario RPG, and maybe like the Super Mario RPG we saw when Nintendo partnered with Square to bring that RPG to the Super Nintendo. I do think that would be great. Now, I recently played Super Mario RPG for the Super Nintendo. I do have it, but I played it for the first time ever, which it was like last year I played it, and or maybe it was this year even. And I didn't really enjoy the game. I know a lot of you grew up with it and love it and think it's one of the best games on the Super Nintendo. However, the nostalgia just wasn't there for me because I never played it originally. Found it a little bit clunky. It was funny. The characters were charming. And that's what I hope they bring to this new one, should this rumor be true. I would love to. I think that would be great if they were able to bring these Ubisoft characters in. Maybe Rayman becomes uh, a playable character. It joins your party. I think that would be fantastic. I think it would be great if it is actually a sequel to Mario RPG if we see Geno or Mallow come back. I think it would be crazy if you could choose from Bowser, Princess, maybe Toad, Mallow, Geno, Rayman, and maybe you could get a rabbit on your side at some point. Yeah, I think that'd be a lot of fun. I think they could do a lot with that premise. I think it would be a great RPG. So far, this lineup for the Switch is really impressing me, or the rumored lineup. I think those are two strong additions. My hope is that we start to hear more about the third-party offerings like Skyrim. I'm hoping maybe we see Injustice 2, Titanfall 2. A lot of things like that I think would really add some variety to the table. And I think that's really what the Switch is going to need. We can't I mean, they can do a great job with just their first party offerings, but I like the collaboration with third parties. But I hope the third parties start bringing their own games to the Switch as well. Nvidia has recently gone on record as saying that porting from PS4 and Xbox One to the Switch will be very easy. So that's very encouraging. I know Nvidia's got to say all the good things about their chipset, but I do believe that's something that they wouldn't say unless it was true, because they really haven't gone off the handle with power. They say the power is there, but it sounds when they say that it sounds like relative to the functions of the mobility. So the power is there when you consider that it is a mobile unit that needs to keep battery life in perspective. So uh, I'm very encouraged about the Switch. If you watched my last video, I mentioned that when I first heard it, while I liked the presentation and how it was unveiled, and I thought it was a neat idea, I wasn't too excited about how successful I thought it might be. But the more I'm hearing lately, and I admit some of these are leaks, and I'm sure Nintendo's pissed because they would love to have had this all announced January 12th when they're doing their presentation. But I do think to a certain extent, these leaks are helping to keep it top of mind for people and keep people excited. So as long as not everything is spoiled before January 12th, I think that's okay. The fact that Pokemon comes out today and it's rumored that there is a Switch version coming is a little bit rough. The timing is pretty bad. A couple weeks later would have probably been better timing because people would have already bought it. However, I think people are still going to buy it. I really don't think it's going to have a huge impact. If anything, it's just going to make more people buy the Switch, even if that means they wait on buying Pokemon Sun and Moon now. So let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about the lineup and what you guys think might also be in the works, because it sounds like every couple of days we're hearing about a new title that's coming out for the Switch. I think that's pretty exciting because it really is all about the games at the end of the day and the fact that you can play them anywhere. So thanks very much for watching. This is Shy Rai Guy Gaming, and we'll talk to you soon.